The Master range, for myself at least, has always been a series of uppers and downers. When the box set has a strong sense of purpose, story, and direction, Big Finish can put out some genuinely fantastic stuff like Only the Good and Anti-Genesis. However, the range also has its downers, which usually relies on box sets that rely on gimmicks. What if the War Master met 8? What if he met 8 again? If we met Joe Jones and Nissa Truckin? What if you get the point? Purposeless story arcs that go nowhere. Only the Good kicks off this range and is an incredibly strong pilot for the War Master. The fact that Big Finish have been able to pick up Derek Jacobi to play in these audios is fantastic and a really big waste of opportunity that has now been rendered okay. Only the Good has a very strong start and finish. First and last story in particular very well written, and I was having a blast listening to this. And writing about it makes me want to listen to it again. There are some down points to Only the Good, largely that the fact that, spoilers, the Skyman is literally one of the most god-awful things I've ever heard. The War Master turns into a baby at the end of the Hellingman paradigm by using the Chameleon Arch. Other than that, really fantastic. Would fangirl over this again. Master of Callus is not as strong as Only the Good. This box set kicks off with two fantastic stories that always keep things going, so that by the time part 2 is starting to find things up, I was on the edge of my seat and eager to see where the story will go from there. And the Persistence of Dreams comes on and I am instantly reminded of the Skyman by its quality. This third story, spoilers, is based around trying to convince us that when the protagonist dying is bad by having us listen to her last few seconds presented by hallucinations of her running out of oxygen. Not a bad premise, but if this was actually written into the box set organically, I wouldn't have any gripes with this. At least the Skyman, no matter how bad it may have been, was still in service of the story. You could cut the Persistence of Dreams out, and the only thing you'll have missed is a few reasons to think why a protagonist dying is sad. And the last part, Sins of the Father, is too. You clearly told that Rim sells into a corner and opted to do a Deus Ex Machina to get them out of the situation. Still would recommend, but skip part 3 unless you're a completionist. I'm going to skip the review for Rage of the Time Lords. Boring from the very beginning and goes literally nowhere. Can't remember a single thing about it either. Sorry for those who like this box set. Finally, another box set I really like. Anti-Genesis is one of those box sets that clearly knows where it's going and what it's doing. The previous box set felt like a random selection of vignettes tied together through the War Master than it did actually feel like a series of loosely connected stories similar to that of Pulp Fiction. Anti-Genesis from the very get-go is just so strong that while yes, some parts did go on for longer than they had to, never really felt like it lost its steam. All the way up to the final part, you could tell that the writers really cared about this mini arc and how it was going to end. It even had a third part that didn't want to make me smash my face into a tub of acid. That's always a plus. Hearts of Darkness is the better War Master 8th Doctor box set out of the two we have so far, which isn't saying much unfortunately. I really wanted to like this box set with all my heart, but once again, this one didn't really stick out to me that much. I just feel like that once again, Big Finish had just made a box set for the sake of making one rather than actually having an idea and making a story around that organically. It does have some good moments, Jacobi is good as he always is, but the fact I listened to this and only remember a little more than Rage of the Time Lords just speaks volumes. This box set also contains the very expected and very lazy way of getting around plot holes of the Doctor not remembering something by wiping his memory. Again, maybe it didn't happen in Hearts of Darkness, but I know it's happened at least once or twice in this range somewhere. Just so lazy from a writing standing point. So, killing time. From a writing point of view, this felt like a very natural progression of events regarding to the story. This also felt like a box set where the story feels like it's based around a gimmick rather than Big Finish wanting to put out a box set out because they have a story they want to do. I can remember the first 3 episodes but nothing about the finale. So let's go back to those first 3 parts. The sincerest form of flattery takes its time setting things up and felt almost too similar to that of Call for the Dead from Master of Callus, in the sense that it's very much a staging piece for things to come. Not a bad thing at all. In fact, the slow pacing and character building serves this box set incredibly well. By night in is where things start to fall apart. Call me desensitized, but a story does not become scary or a psychological thriller because things disappear there and reappear here. Oh, she heard noises from things that don't exist? I am so scared. It was sort of the same for Night Thoughts where, spoilers, Just because the story dealt with a dead child doesn't make it particularly scary. A Quiet Night In was also a major letdown that only continued in The Orphan, and I can't remember much of that finale, so the War Master range for myself has always been a series of uppers and downers. When the box set has a strong sense of purpose, story, and direction, Big Finish could put out some genuinely fantastic stuff like Only the Good and Anti-Genesis. However, the range also has its downers, which usually relies on box sets that relies on gimmicks. What if the War Master meant 8? Meant 8 again? What if you met Joe Jones and Nissa Trucken? What if you get the point? Or purposeless story arcs that go nowhere. While it does feel like I'm much too harsh on this range, it's because I'm perfectly aware of what Big Finish and his writers are capable of. But it feels like for every box set we have, there's two that feel like they were made for the hell of it, not because of an inherent want to do one. I do also understand that they are a business and need to make money somehow, but if you're telling me that almost a whole year in between box sets isn't enough to provide something above mediocre quality, then maybe it's time to put the range on the back burner until you hash things out. This could and should be a range better than that of the Unbound series or even the early Gallifrey titles, but unless something drastic changes sooner, don't bank on it. So where does this lead for self-defense? Based on what we have seen in the past, I'm not particularly holding my breath. Until this box set comes out and I listen to its entirety, it's premature for me to say anything. If it turns out bad and mediocre, then whatever. It's just another nail in the War Master's coffin. If they do manage to pull out another Only the Good Anti-Genesis star quality box set, then even better. I'm an optimist on these things, so hopefully it'll mark a significant change of direction for the War Master. I'm hoping this isn't just another gimmick box set. I'm very eager to see the War Master of the 10th Doctor reunite. Let me know what you think of the other box sets down